Good evening everyone and welcome to Polaris 11, live and exclusive on UFC Fight Pass. You are joining us here at the Bridgewater Hall in Manchester. We've got our undercard coming up for you now. 8 fights to look forward to before we commence our 6-fight main card with those 2 world titles on the line at 8 p.m. tonight. Let's take a look at the prelims that are coming your way right now. We're going to kick off with Nathan Jones taking on Chris Walsh in a middleweight bout. Kieran Davern's going to take on Fred Greenall, and then a series of catchweight bouts. Good ladies fight up there as Mikkelson takes on Yaz Wilson at 60 kilos. Mcdonagh, Tarik Hopstock is going to bring some fireworks. Adshead at a catchweight of 64 taking on Enrique Vilasenor. Tommi Pulkkanen is going to step in and take on Irish standout Marcus Phelan. Good clash of the north up in the co-main spot of the prelims. Lloyd taking on Matty, Holmes. And of course our Polaris qualifiers are going to throw down at the end of this prelim card in an absolute bout. Jedhu is going to be taking on Nastasa, Silviu, Georgian. Let's throw over to our MC Bidet Johnson, who's going to introduce tonight's undercard competitors.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bridgewater Hall right here in Manchester, England, as we are now set for an evening's entertainment of the UK's #1 professional grappling show. This is Polaris 11, Polaris Professional Jiu-Jitsu, brought to you by Tatami Fightwear and Scramble, and exclusively live on UFC Fight Pass and UFCFightPass.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set to go with the opening cards of the evening. It is time for the opening ceremony. As I read out the fighters, let me hear you make some noise. First, it is time to welcome Nathan Jones. His opponent, Chris Walsh. Introducing Kieran Davern. His opponent, Fred Greenall. Introducing Kristin Mikkelson. Yaz Wilson. Introducing Mcdonagh. Introducing Tarik Hopstock. Introducing Adshead. His opponent, Enrique Vilasenor. Introducing Tommi Pulkkanen. His opponent, Marcus Phelan. And now, introducing Lloyd Cooper. his opponent, Matty Holmes. Introducing Chad Hugh. And finally, introducing Nastasa, Silviu, Georgian. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for our fighters for the prelim bouts. Come on!
And shocking to go to the back. Oh, nice sweep single. Good takedown for Gary. Trying to keep that spot up, but Bruno escapes. Oh, he gets the tap. Make a fast pace in this one. She tries. What a fantastic. Oh, he's got deep. Pulkkanen is definitely in pain here. A lot of pain. That was very nice. This could be. So we are here for the tail of the tape for our first bout this evening. Mr. Bag and Tag Nathan Jones, representing Hodger Gracie, 32 years old, not 22. He is going to be taking on Chris Walsh from up here at Next Generation Liverpool. So nice north-south clash to get us started this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, Polaris Professional Jiu-Jitsu now set for a 10-minute no-gi contest in the middleweight division, brought to you by Scramble and Tommi Fightwear. We introduce first a Jiu-Jitsu brown belt at 83.6 kilograms. He's a British and European gold medalist in Jiu-Jitsu fighting out of Richmond Fitness from Isleworth, London, presenting Mr. Bag and Tag Nathan Jones.
So Nathan Jones is our first competitor to make his way to the stage this evening. 32 years old, from Isleworth in London. Former youth worker turned professional fighter. Very extensive MMA background for him, but he's going to have a crack at grappling tonight, representing Team Hodger Gracie Association. Should be looking for a good bout here this evening. He's had some good showings in some MMA bouts on the ground, so expect a confident performance from him.
And his opponent, also a Jiu-Jitsu brown belt and a no-gi British medalist. He hails from Next Generation from Liverpool, presenting Chris Walsh.
Chris Walsh marching his way down to the mat, 26 years old from just down the road in Liverpool. Been training 8.5 years. Currently a brown belt at Next Generation Liverpool under head coach Paul Rimmer. So our referee Greg Creel is going to get our first bout underway. Josh Palmer here, mat side tonight, joined once again by Polaris and ADCC veteran Dan the Raspberry Ape Strauss. And Dan, we're off to a good start in the clinch here.
Yeah, this is our first bout of the evening. We have a classic, as you said, north-south divide straight into a leg lock entry.
Yeah, inside Senkaku straight into the heel hook. Manages to spin out.
Looked like he tapped for a second there, didn't it?
It really did look like.
I thought that was going to be one of the fastest submissions we've ever had in Polaris.
You saw Walsh bridged in, and it looked like you know, Nathan Jones didn't have anywhere to go, but he managed to clear that knee line and spin out. Shucking the arm drag briefly, and he's giving his neck up here, and that is a deep grip. Moving to the back now is Walsh.
Yeah, I love the transition off a failed guillotine attempt. You force the opponent to turtle up and take the back off of that.
So Walsh just trying to find the back position here, riding that seat belt. He's got that far wrist control now. But good job from Jones to put back a guard. And you see immediately Walsh looking for that leg entanglement again.
Super high energy to start this Polaris off.
He's found
That's exactly what we want to see. He's back in on that leg.
Yeah, he's found that inside triangle lock up again. There you go. See him put that knee behind, but he's got flattened here.
Yeah, Nathan a good job of taking that top position and using that knee as a wedge. She's going to try and throw his hips backward and clear the hips. Try and use that to pass the guard.
They do have a 9x9 meter mat to make use of here, but having to find the edge. But Dan, we've seen early the intention from Chris Walsh, attack those legs.
Same position, out weak. Leg inside.
What's Nathan Jones got to do in a kind of top half guard position here to try and shut some of those entries down?
Well, this is kind of, we've been non-stop for the first minute and a half of this match, so this is going to be the first time we're actually going to see what this match looks like from a, well, I was going to say from a more static position, but immediately using that guillotine setup to take the back again.
Yeah, gets the short choke grip in, going straight on the jaw here. That's just going to be uncomfortable for Mr. Bag and Tag.
Yeah, this is a great position for Chris. Just looking to tie up the grips now, get that hand underneath the neck, but like we're talking about 5 submission attempts already.
Yeah, very
transitioning
correct.
really nicely out of all of them. Looking really dominant performance so far, but still only 2 minutes into the bout.
That's it. Fast start from Chris Walsh, one of the main training partners of Paddy the Baddy Pimlet, who we're going to see up on our main card later, taking on UFC veteran Stephen Ray. Join us at 8 p.m. for that. But Walsh turns back in, loses that control, but we've already seen Dan. He'll snap down to guillotines and take the back from this position very deftly.
Little sniff of a guillotine for Nathan there, but both of the athletes ended up standing.
As you say, Dan, good pace here. I mean, for those of you who aren't aware of how the Polaris rule set shakes out, the judges are going to be splitting the bout down into 3 equal periods. So for these prelims, that's 3 minutes and 20 seconds per period. They're going to pick a winner based on that first period. And who's got 2 out of 3 at the end is, you know, how you're going to know who wins if there's no submission.
Yeah, it forces the action throughout the entire match. You can't just you know, come out strong and then sit back on that for the rest of the match.
I think barring a significant submission attempt from Nathan Jones, Chris Walsh is going to fairly obviously take this first, this first period.
So interesting to see the match progress, the pace starting to slow. You know, that pace for the first couple of minutes just impossible to hold for the entire match. But now it's starting to slow down, and we'll see how it starts to, see if Nathan can start to work his game a little bit more, because as of this far, you know, Chris has really dominated every position of it. Yeah.
Jones shot from well on the outside there, no real setup to that penetration step. He's looking to pummel for inside position here, and it's a nice guard pull to knee shield from Walsh.
Yeah, I think we can expect Chris to go for another leg lock entry. It does seem to be his main game plan here, between using the leg lock entries from guard and looking to attack the guillotine to back.
Yeah, there you go. He's going to try and underhook that far leg and get that knee across, stick it under the armpit and use it to really lever
He's probably
Jones
going to look for a fake on the sweep. If he managed to get that right leg butterfly hook in, look for a fake on the sweep and then lock up that triangle position on the legs again.
Hashtag Polaris11, and tonight you want to join us on social media. Let us know what you think of the show this evening.
Here's that sweep attempt and
elevate
into the leg lock attempt.
Not able to snag it though. Jones able to scramble back to his feet.
They're just a little bit shallow there on the leg attempt, but after already being in 2 of those positions, Nathan's going to start being really aware of what's going on with that.
Yeah, that's true, but he does have to get some offense of his own going, prioritising offense under this rule set here. So, you've got to get your own submission attempts, your own sweeps in. Shoots again from the outside, runs into the underhooks.
Really nice back takes off of that front headlock control.
He hasn't actually secured full hooks though, has he? He's had to work from that seatbelt position, and now he's looking to try and work to some control. He's going to come on top here, but no.
Yeah, Nathan's doing he is slightly overwhelmed in terms of the attacks so far by Chris Walsh, but really, really composed in being able to get out of all of these sticky situations.
Oh, and that's a good reversal from Jones as Walsh was trying to pass around the outside. Now he's got a chance to go to work on top, but he's got to do something to address that knee shield.
Okay, he's going for a leg lock of his own.
Yeah, and he's going to get counter toe holded here.
Yep.
Got to defend his own feet, and he's lost that secondary foot to fight the toe hold, but manages to scramble free.
The problem with leg locks is that to get a leg lock, you've got to give your legs as well.
You've got to hide your own feet.
It's already quite obvious that Chris is really interested in going after those legs. So, my advice to Nathan, if I was coaching him, would be to probably try and play his game instead of playing into what seems to be Chris's game.
And the entry just seemed a little bit more telegraphed, a little bit slower from Jones on that. So let's see now. I have to say the pace has slowed a little bit on the feet from Walsh's perspective. He's trying to counter. Big Harai.
Oh no, he timed that perfectly. He wanted to slam him right onto the hard wooden floor there instead of the mat. Genius tactician.
Just a shame he found the edge of the mat, because he set that up.
Really nice.
He set that up beautifully.
No, don't get upset about that. That's fine. Matt's there for a reason. Come on.
So head to head here. And we're moving pretty swiftly towards the end of the second period. And Dan, this one a lot closer to call.
Yeah, I'd still quite firmly give this to Chris, if I'm honest with you.
Unless he landed that Harai, perhaps.
Yeah. And then you've got to say, it's one thing to take someone down, but what are you actually going to do with it?
Absolutely.
The only attack that Nathan's been able to get off so far was countered with an attack of Chris's own attack of his on the legs as well. So
that elevator hook to backstep into the inside Senkaku from there is a serious weapon for Chris Walsh. Just defends the dance easy. Again, Jones is going to go for the knee bar toe hold combination, but you see how quick Walsh turns and clears that knee line.
Yeah, Chris is very clued up on this leg look stuff, obviously.
Jones could have looked for a slap down there. He had a chance while Walsh was coming back up.
This has been a really high-paced match. These guys must, even it's been going on for 7 minutes now, these guys must be starting to get pretty tired. But Nathan definitely looking a lot more comfortable with the slightly slower pacing as Chris used all of his energy very early. But nice body control here. Nathan turned in to get another throw there, but Chris realizing and pulling guard again. Obviously very comfortable with his back.
Our main event coming up tonight. Talita Alencar taking on Fionn Davies, trying to get her 55-kilo ladies belt off of her. That's going to be a fantastic main event this evening. Welterweight belt also on the line. And again, Chris Walsh finds that inside triangle position.
Nathan looking like he's trying to insert that left arm through for a Darce choke, but quite shallow. Another setup on the legs.
He's looking to, they're telling him to control that secondary leg. Yeah. Perhaps look for the Texas cloverleaf lock through there.
Yeah, the big difference between Nathan's entries and Chris's entries, look how deep he is on these legs. Really got control of the knee line, which is the important thing here. But then Nathan doing a great job of managing to remove that knee line.
I have to say, I'm impressed with how many times Jones has escaped that inside control position. He's got 1:40 left to work here. He's got that whizzer. Well, again, looking to step across.
Chris wants no part of that throw, does it?
No judo.
You don't. You didn't like that one,
I'm going to chuckle for that one, Dan. So again, Jones is going to telegraph this step across, looking for a knee bar. But you see the knee line's clear before he even rotates his body around. Yeah. He's got a bite of the heel here, but with no control of the knee, he's not going to get
Even
through.
If you catch the heel hook in a perfect position, the knee's just going to slide out anyway.
Again, looking to elevate, get that knee shield back involved. I mean, this is a good kneecap position for Jones, but you can see he wants to turn down again, looking for the Darce.
Yeah, he's done this a few times. Definitely the deepest, still very shallow position just on the fingers there.
Yeah, Walsh just keeping the hands brass. I know he's got to a three-quarter staff briefly there.
There's a really nice frame on the hips from Chris underneath here. Okay, he's starting to tie it up. Not quite there. He wants to use right arm to back pressure on the back of Chris's head to try and get that hand. You really need to get a secure grip with the hand.
This is getting deep.
There we go. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. The first real legitimate attack that Nathan's had.
And you could hear the corner of Chris Walsh getting very anxious there for a few moments. 35 left on the clock.
Unfortunately, I believe that Nathan's going to need a submission at this point.
I undoubtedly
safe to say that he's two rounds down.
Nice right leg staple, looking to try and float that leg weave over the top.
Just starting to look like he's getting comfortable now.
Exactly, Japanese necktie here to turn him over.
Oh, he's gonna. If he pulls this out the bag right now, it would be spectacular.
Oh, do you know what? Another minute on the clock from here would be interesting.
Yeah,
because he's got control of Walsh here.
Oh, if only there were 5 more minutes. If this was a 15-minute match, I think this could be very, very close.
Yeah. Walsh is hoping the time's...
Oh my God, how unfortunate.
That was anxious moments for Chris Walsh towards the end.
Yeah, he rode that storm and then just kind of started to come into his own right by
I think Nathan Jones took that third period.
Oh, 100%.
I think so 2-1 probably, I think, on our scorecard stand.
Well, we're not judges, Josh. We don't know.
We're not, but you know, we know a thing or two about what's going on here. But no, a good opening bout from Nathan Jones and Chris Walsh. Just going to have our judges render their decision, and we will move swiftly on.
He is absolutely knackered. That was a high-paced match. Let's
take a look at some of the replays here, Dan. So we're going to see. What are we going to see? Here's the Harai.
Oh, it was nice. Just onto the wooden floor.
And these were just slower telegraphed entries, and you can see the knee line was cleared well
every
before.
Single time. Yeah, Nathan had a lot more success when he wasn't attacking the legs, instead looking to attack that upper body, head and arm chokes from there.
Yeah, make use of the longer frame he has.
Two quite close entries with the upper body attacks, but I definitely would have said Nathan would have probably had more success doing that from much earlier in the match.
Let's go over to our MC, Bidet Johnson, who's going to announce the winner of our first bout this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for our first 2 warriors this evening. Come on! This bout goes the distance, and we go to the judges' decision, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Chris Walsh.
Our next bout this evening is at a middleweight division of 83.9 kilos. Kieran Davern from SBG Tullamore. He is 33 years old, not 23 as your screen says. He is meeting Fred Greenall, 34 years old, from Scramble Academy Leeds. 2 long-time black belts about to throw down here.
Polaris 11 right here at the Bridgewater Hall in Manchester, England. Now set for a 10-minute no-gi contest in the middleweight division. We introduce first now at 82.4 kilograms, a jiu-jitsu black belt fighting out of SBG Tullamore, Ireland, presenting Kieran Davern.
So Kieran Davern, head coach of SBG at Tullamore, returning to Polaris. We've seen him before beat Lloyd Cooper by inside heel hook back at Polaris 7. He has looked phenomenal on the submission grappling circuit lately.
And his opponent also weighed in at 83.9 kilograms and also a jiu-jitsu black belt fighting out of Scramble Academy and Inglorious Grapplers. Fighting out of Leeds, he is Fred Greenall.
And his opponent tonight is Fred Greenall. He's a black belt, originally from York, now making his home in Leeds, based at the Scramble Academy, Leeds. 34 years old. Some wrestling and judo in his background, as well as a gold medal at the IBJJF Euros. So formidable opponent tonight for Kieran Davern. Thanks to Barefoot for sponsoring this bout this evening. As our referee Simon Small is going to get us underway here. Kieran Davern in the white and black, blue and white for Fred Greenall.
Ready.
We're underway in the second bout of our evening. And a guard pull from Greenall early.
Yeah, these are two guys, both who are very, very happy to attack the legs. One of Fred's maybe his last submission-only match was against Jed Hugh. Really, really aggressive on the heel hooks. Managed to avoid him against Jed, but already in a sticky situation with Kieran here.
Deep outside control for Kieran Davern. He's now switched over to go both legs on the outside.
Looks like he's cleared the knee line, though.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, but straight onto the other leg. Beautiful transition there. So
Davern again looking to work from butterfly here, elevates into the leg entanglement, and that's a beautiful entry. He's trying to control that second leg. See how he's grabbing above the knee.
It's so horrible when you get in this situation where it seems that wherever you go, the opponent's getting underneath and grabbing a leg, one to the other, and back and back and back. It just seems like you're in a nightmare and you can't get out.
Well, Greenall's got to find his way here. Does a good job so far. He's still got that first leg trapped, and Davern switches it over to the outside. Good roll from Greenall to escape there.
Yeah, good work from Fred not to succumb to those early entries on the legs. Very, nice bites on all of those, but Kieran not able to stop Fred from turning out to alleviate that pressure. Like I said, he's gone against very, very high-level leg lockers in the past. So
looking to set the triangle up there.
Switching it up and attacking the upper body there, and allowing, when Fred goes backwards to defend the upper body, looking to set up the legs again.
So Davern coming up on top now. See what he can do to pass. Although I have to say, Dan, we saw a glimpse earlier that he's quite happy to fall back from this top position. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised at all if Kieran gets to a close passing position. If he can get in a leg entanglement, he'll sit straight backwards and attack the heels again. The interesting thing in this sort of scenario, when you have someone whose main game relies on the leg locks like we've seen from Kieran in the past, if it doesn't work initially, does he change his game up? Does he start doing something differently, or is he going to continue to attack the legs?
I mean, we say it at most shows, don't we, that people are getting so good at defending leg locks now, they're kind of just falling back into becoming any other technique again.
Yeah.
Good pummel to come up on top.
Fred throwing up a leg lock of his own, initially a knee bar, looking to again cleared that heel line and slightly off the mat there.
And good decision to reset in the middle. Had to wait till that knee line was clear just to be completely sure.
Another really fast-paced beginning of the match again.
A bit of a slow rolling Kimura attempt from Davern there. And we're coming up to the end of the first period. You've got to say perhaps Davern having
undoubtedly
the better offense so far.
For sure. Again.
Sets back, outside leg entanglement here. They're going to try and find a home on the inside for that right foot.
No desire to pass the guard whatsoever, sitting back on that heel.
Yeah, going wrist to wrist.
Question is, how many times will Fred defend this? Is Kieran going to think, every time Fred gets out, is Kieran going to think, well, that was close, I'm going to go for it again, see if it works, or is he going to start to think, well, I might not be able to heel hook this guy, am I going to have to come up with a different game plan?
Well, so far it looks as though Davern's going to keep going to the well on the legs, elevates. Can't quite find his way through to the legs on that attempt. I think our referee's going to reset them in the middle again. We're through the first period. 6:05 left on the clock here. Both these guys involving jiu-jitsu in their full-time careers. Greenall teaching jiu-jitsu to challenging young people, and Davern, of course, the head coach at his own gym, SPG Tullamore over in Ireland. Did have a pro MMA career himself, but I don't think he'd mind us saying far more successful in grappling than he was in mixed martial arts. Inside shoulder lock. You can see Greenall's trying to float and pummel those legs in.
Okay, Fred pulling guard now, interesting.
So looking to fight grips from here, trying to work his way into some underhooks perhaps.
Yeah, it looks like Fred's hunting down that single shoulder control. Omoplata setup, but Kieran doing a really good job of reacting, pulling the arm straight out of there. Again, sitting backwards for the legs, but ends up just kind of sweeping himself. Fred's going backwards for the legs now. You know, when you have these sub-only shows and there's no points for sweeps, there's no punishment for falling onto your back and attacking the leg.
No, especially if the person coming on top can't establish a really nasty position off it. Halfway point in this one, big elevation on the hips for Davern. What do you think Greenall's got to do here, Dan? Because I think you and I are in agreement that, you know, the better of the submission attempts have gone to Davern, and Greenall's, you know, entries on the legs haven't quite been as tight as of yet.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm not sure what Fred's game plan is at the moment. He kind of is playing into Kieran's game, and just Kieran is doing a little bit of a better job of it. It's so difficult to play an offensive guard attacking game from your back if the person on top
just wants
is going to sit backwards for a leg lock every time you do it. So I definitely think that Kieran looks like the more fatigued of the two athletes. So it might be an idea for Greenall to start turning up the pace here and looking to secure a top dominant position, something that we've not seen from either of these athletes so far in this match.
Strong frames for Greenall on the face. Again, Davern looking to hit that entanglement. That's a nice elevation. Can he find the leg position behind? Greenall extracts, sits back himself. And this is a bit deeper for him. Yeah. Ooh, I can understand why the corner of Fred Greenall thought there may have been a tap, but that did look very close from Kieran Davern, I have to say.
Yeah, you've got to ask yourself, we're 2 rounds in now, and who has won those 2 rounds? Obviously, the first round, I think we're in agreement goes to Kieran. Second round, a lot closer. I'd probably still edge it to Kieran as well.
Especially with that near attempt from Greenall, but
yeah,
he's
definitely making it very close.
Yeah, into the final third now. 3 minutes left on the clock. And again, they're just trading loose leg positions here.
Fred looking a lot more comfortable as we go on in this bout.
As you say, Davern looking for more fatigue. Final 3 on the clock. Got a ladies' gi bout coming up for you next. Really high-level gi bout as well. Yaz Wilson taking on Kristin Mikkelson.
Standing pass and going, bro. Passing. Nice sweep, excellent.
I mean, they're not wrong. It does technically constitute a sweep.
Absolutely, you know, but...
You again!
That came very fast, I have to say. When he saw the entry. Looked as though it was going to be another loose outside leg entanglement.
And you know, I think Kieran just really fatigued a lot, and Fred just seemed to get stronger and stronger as the match went on. He never had that many entries to the legs, but when he got them, obviously it stuck. So really, really good job.
Look forward to seeing
that finish by Fred Greenall.
Looking forward to seeing a replay of that one. But Fred Greenall is going to take the submission here in the second bout of the evening. Let's take a look at the finish here, and well, we're not going to get to see the entry, we're just going to get to see the heel exposure and bridge from Fred Greenall.
So it was Kieran who actually went for the leg first, and
oh, there we go.
Spot on. Very, very quick tap there.
Let's throw over to our MC, Bidet Johnson, who's going to announce the winner of our second match.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for both warriors this evening. Come on. And just under 2 minutes left of the contest, your winner by submission with a heel hook, Greenall.
Third bout this evening is a ladies catchweight 60 kilo bout in the gi. 31-year-old from, well, she's actually just recently moved to Croatia, representing Crocot team now, Kristin Mikkelson from the US, taking on British standout Yaz Wilson from Hodger Gracie Academy.
At Polaris 11 right here in Manchester, England, we are now set for a gi contest. 10 minutes at 60 kilograms, a catchweight contest. Set to make her way down to the mat at 59.9 kilograms, a jiu-jitsu black belt, a world gi and no gi champion, fighting out of Satoshi Ishii, Kristin Mikkelson.
Kristin Mikkelson making her way to the stage now. She is American, previously based in Chicago. However, I think as early as a couple of weeks ago, moved to Croatia to stay with her partner Satoshi Ishii, who you can see in her corner tonight. Ishii, of course, previously supposed to be on this card, but forced out due to injury.
And now her opponent on her way to the mat, weighed in at 60 kilograms even, fighting out of Hodger Gracie Academy, a jiu-jitsu black belt, presenting Yaz Wilson.
And her opponent tonight is Yaz Wilson from Hodger Gracie Academy, very accomplished British grappler. We've actually seen her once before on Polaris. Back at Polaris 4, she took on standout Dominika Obalienta and unfortunately dropped a decision there, so looking to make amends tonight against Kristin Mikkelson. Thanks to Made for Fighters for sponsoring this bout this evening. Blue gi for Yaz Wilson, white gi for Kristin Mikkelson. Your referee for this bout is Mr. Greg Creel.
Fight.
And we are underway. Touch of hands. As you may have heard in the announcements from our MC, Kristin Mikkelson winning world no gis and gis. Those are at coloured belt levels though. Got her black belt from Annette Stack a couple of years ago. And Wilson with some guard work here.
Yeah, I've known Yaz for probably about 10, 12 years. Very, very dangerous closed guard. One of the most dangerous closed guard, and unbelievably strong. You know, she's very wiry, long-limbed. She looks a lot bigger than Kristin does, and just a really dangerous closed guard. So this is absolutely not where Kristin wants to be right now. She's kind of somewhat, usually you'd be safe with that knee through, but Yaz has such long legs.
She's already got her guard closed around that knee.
Exactly, and that just means that you can, if Kristin balances off to one side a little bit too much, you can hit the sweep very easily from there, but expect to see really aggressive. If Yaz can work back to a standard closed guard, expect to see really aggressive arm triangle attacks from this position.
Well, Mikkelson motioning as though she's going to reach back and control that foot.
You might be thinking about sitting backwards for a straight footlock. That's exactly what I was thinking. Not particularly strong position. Yaz should be looking to move around in that direction.
Especially in a gi, when you can attach yourself to someone, you can stop them extending away and turning their chest down to the mat. It's a bit easier to counter. Wilson with her feet crossed behind Mikkelson. Again, as you alluded to, Dan, a much longer frame.
Yep.
I think was Yaz the first female black belt in the UK? Certainly one of them.
She wasn't the first, but she was very early.
Mikkelson trying to break that ankle grip behind. Now she goes to the single leg X. There we see a shot in the corner of Satoshi Ishii, heavyweight judo Olympic gold medalist. Unfortunately forced out of his bout with Ariares Fanmaz this evening.
Yeah, Yaz wants to drop that leg that's under attack. She wants to drop the knee to the floor exactly as she's done now. Now she's in a pretty good position to start putting some weight backwards, using her hips to kind of break this leg structure that Kristin has and start looking to pass the guard. But she's got to keep that knee on the floor. Okay, switching over.
50-50 now.
Possibly thinking about going for a leg attack of her own. I couldn't think of any other reason why she'd hit this transition unless she was thinking about doing something with this leg.
Yeah, so 50-50 here. The outside triangle for Wilson, top position for Mikkelson. Let's see if she can sit her back down. She's looking to set up a lapel guard here. You see her untucking the left side of the lapel. She's going to wrap that around the leg, feed it through. Mikkelson not seeming too concerned about fighting that grip just yet. And our referee, Greg Creel, giving them the first warning to keep the action moving forward.
Yeah, I think that warning should be given the second someone goes in the 50-50 guard.
Not a fan, Dan.
Not at all.
Yeah, it can be a slow position in the gi when that inside heel hook is not a legal technique. We are taking these gi matches under IBJJF rules, of course, with the Polaris scoring system this evening.
Do you know what would make 50-50 guard interesting?
I'm scared to ask.
Allow strikes immediately once they set up 50-50
You want to mix in combat
the only
jiu-jitsu.
position they can do it from.
So Yaz looking to use that lapel to get around and control the ankle. Mikkelson's trying to come across and separate those legs now.
Yeah, she could be going for a knee bar on the far leg or even trying to turn this into a twisting footlock.
Yeah, straight footlock on the other side here. She's got a good bridge into it, but
it's so difficult to go for a straight ankle lock on someone who's so much taller than you, so much longer limbed. Yeah, Yaz, good chance that if she turns backwards on this, on Mikkelson's leg to attack a twisting footlock.
Well, Mikkelson getting those legs apart now, and she's got the legs straight. See if she can sink those hips in.
This is not a bad position at all.
No, it's not. Yaz is holding on to that lapel.
Yeah.
And she's got to defend the toe hold here, and her left leg is very tied up. Wilson in a little bit of a dangerous spot. She's forced to roll. Still holding on to that lapel. With that leg straight down, it's going to ease some of the pressure.
And a twisting footlock of her own.
Yeah, she's got a good bite on this as she looks to go.
Yeah, no control of the knee line though, so unlike, when that leg is straight, there's a lot more mobility in the ankle. People rarely tap when that leg is straight. You're going to want to have to take that heel close to the butt and really put all of the torque into the ankle there.
So again, back to 50-50 here in a much more conventional 50-50 position. Both players in a seated guard. Some unhappy groans from my co-commentator, Dan Strauss.
Strikes. Punch him.
So looking to still work the lapels here is Wilson.
This is a close match. I don't know how to call the first round of this.
Well, and we're well into the second period.
I really have no idea. I guess from an attacking perspective.
So I mean, look, Wilson has switched this lapel over to her left hand now. That's going to allow her to put some leverage on the outside position. She's going to try and sweep Mikkelson over to her right, possibly.
The problem with wrapping up the lapel when you're in 50-50 guard is it doesn't matter how much you wrap up the gi. If you don't release the 50-50 guard or your opponent doesn't release the 50-50 guard, no one's going anywhere. That's the problem. So you have the ability to basically slow the game down significantly. Obviously, there are techniques that you can do from here, but I just don't know them.
Well, on that note, in the middle of a complex gi entanglement, big shout out to our co-commentator Tom Barlow, who is not able to be with us here this evening, but we do wish him all the best as he expects the birth of his first child very soon.
Yeah, he'll be commentating the most important match of his life, which will be the birth of his child.
So again, 50-50 still here, looking to work. It's tough to see from our position what Wilson is doing with the lapel now. Looking to come up and reinforce up top. Mikkelson's fighting that grip now. She's got that cuff grip. I've got to say, a pistol grip on the lapel from Wilson is going to be a tough one to break. through into the third and final period here.
I think the second round's even harder to judge than the first round.
This is near impossible to split these two. You just have to deem who's been working a little bit more, perhaps. I mean, the control's been fairly even. No submission attempts as of yet. Do have a very experienced black belt in Greg Creel, the man in the middle for this one. So he'll be very aware as soon as he feels there's a lull in action to bring them back up. Still 5 more bouts on this undercard this evening for you before we go live at 8 p.m. with our main card. Thank you for joining us here on UFC Fight Pass this evening. Whole lot to look forward to. Of course, that co-main down, that welterweight title defense from Manshakara taking on Edwin Najmi.
It's going to be exciting.
Very exciting no-gi bout there. So yeah, still working the lapel. Kristin, that far foot grip, trying to split the legs apart.
Yeah, she's controlling the with her left hand. She's controlling the toes. I wonder whether she's going to reach around with the other arm and go for a twist and footlock.
Wilson with some elevation of her hips now, and she's threatening to come over the top to...
like, Yaz has the ability to armbar you from inside a 50-50 guard.
That's exactly what it looked like she was doing. That left leg's going to fly over the top. And
if she allows Kristin to take a nice deep grip on her left hand, then she could throw that leg over and take a really sneaky armbar, just as I say that.
Well, it's that kind of...
Maybe she can hear me.
It's at least that kind of attempt that is going to start...
at this
exactly.
point, yeah. I'd say so far, without a doubt, Yaz has been the most active from underneath this 50-50 guard position. I think this last round so far would definitely go to her. Even though realistically not a huge amount is going on.
Yeah, Mikkelson sitting back here.
1 minute, yeah. Let's push it now. 1 minute. Let's go.
And into the final minute now, the corner of Yaz Wilson urging her on. Mikkelson's corner very, very quiet throughout. Just letting her work. I have to say it feels as though she's been on the defensive for at least a portion of this position here.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be a judge for this match, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, our judges this evening, Mark Goddard, Jason Tan, and Neil Williams are the ones who are going to be having to make this tough decision here. Again, Wilson looking to lock up a toe hold here. I don't think she's quite going to get the weight off the foot, bridging into the back of the knee here. Counter attack on the straight footlock from Mikkelson. The 10-second clock is gone. We're going to see this one out. Bit of a slow technical battle there, Dan. No one really gaining a clear edge, at least from our vantage point. Let's take a look at some of the replays there. This was the initial guard pull, and it was a guard jump from Wilson, who managed to get the closed guard even with that knee up through the middle. And the two toe holds were perhaps the closest attempts that we saw. This one from Wilson, the deeper of the two, you would argue, forcing the roll in defense from Mikkelson. But we did spend a big portion of this match in this 50-50 guard. Neither opponent able to break it. We're going to go to our MC this evening, who's going to render our judge's decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for our female warriors this evening. Come on. This bout goes the distance, and we go to your judges, declaring a winner, a unanimous decision, Yaz Wilson.
Our next bout this evening is certainly promising fireworks. A catchweight of 80 kilos, no gi. As the Brit, representing Gracie Barra, Sean Mcdonagh, is going to take on Norwegian Tarik Hopstock.
Polaris 11, right here at the Bridgewater in Manchester, England, now set for a no-gi contest, 10 minutes, at a catch weight at 80 kilograms. We introduce first at 77 kilograms, a jiu-jitsu black belt and two-time European no-gi champion and no-gi Pan Am silver medalist, fighting out of Gracie Barra from Derby, Sean Mcdonagh.
Sean Mcdonagh returning to Polaris for his second match. We last saw him at Polaris 6 when he fairly succinctly took out Jay Butler. 12 years of training for Sean Mcdonagh, currently a black belt at Gracie Barra Derby under Victor Estima.
And his opponent at 80 kilograms even, a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, a European and world bronze medalist, fighting at a Frontline Academy from Bergen, Norway, presenting Tarik Hopstock.
Tarik Hopstock running down to the mat here. He's fought with us once before as well. Polaris 9 beat Owen O'Flanagan by ankle lock, which was a fantastic scalp for him. Currently a brown belt, been training 8 years at the Frontline Academy in Norway, but do not sleep on this guy. He is absolutely phenomenal.
He looks so happy to be here, Josh.
Hey,
I've never seen someone smiling so much.
Thanks to Scramble for sponsoring this bout. Your referee Simon Small is in the center for this match. This is our fourth bout from the undercard of Polaris 11, live and exclusive on UFC Fight Pass from the Bridgewater Hall in Manchester. Josh Palmer and Dan Strauss on the mic for you this evening.
Fight.
White and black for Mcdonagh, all black with the red trim for Hopstock as he sits to guard early here.
Yeah, Sean's known to go for flying submissions a lot, so I wonder if Tarik did his homework there and immediately went to pull guard.
Yeah, Sean has been quite open, saying the leg locks are an area he hasn't put as much effort into, but he's got to defend early here as Hopstock looks to control that far arm.
Yeah, Tarik has a really awesome game attacking the arms, underhook positions, and attacking omoplatas and variations off of his back.
The Tarik Plata, of course.
Yeah, famous.
Both guys have had some excellent performances at large IBJJF events. 2 bronzes at World for Hopstock. Winner at Nogi Euros twice, and a purple and brown belt for Sean Mcdonagh. He also has a win over Oliver Tarza as well, but he's got to deal with this strong underhook from Hopstock, who's got all the way over, and he's going to have a Kimura grip here, Dan.
Yeah, he's going to turn this into an armbar. Okay, and he's turned this into a Tarik Plata.
Yeah.
This is his position. This is a bad position for Sean to be in. He had to be expecting this.
This is a
the
shoulder
submission named after him. It's a horrible variation on omoplata where you lace your arm through so you can turn with your entire body using the.
And he got it.
There it is. Done.
Fantastic entry from Tarik Hopstock to hit the Tarika Plata, we call it Barata Plata, however you want to go. Kimura reinforced by the legs. And that is a phenomenal performance for him.
He's come all the way over here by himself.
Yeah.
Finished a match like that.
I'm sure his coach, Eduardo Rios, also a Polaris veteran, is going to be very happy at home in Norway watching that one. And we're going to get a good look at it on the replay because Mcdonagh was able to fight it for a little while.
The thing is, the beauty of this submission is that once you've got it locked off, you've committed your entire body to just one joint. Once you've locked it off, it's almost impossible to get out of.
Let's take a look at the replay here, Dan, and this was the full setup, that strong underhook, and it, you know, Mcdonagh tried to free, but the bite on that tricep was so strong.
Yeah, he's used a single shoulder control to switch to a Kimura grip, and then switch that with the omoplata as it comes through, and there, it's locked off.
Yeah, it was Mcdonagh holding on to his own wrist and defending.
But you can't stop an entire person's body weight with just that control with the hands. It's going to come on, and it comes on everywhere.
Yeah,
it's on your forearm, it's on the bicep, it's on the shoulder, it's on everywhere.
You can see Mcdonagh fighting this with everything he's worth, but he knows as soon as that grip's broken.
Once the grip broken, it's game over.
What a win for Tarik Hopstock. Let's throw over to our MC, Bidet Johnson, who's going to announce this happy man's name.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for our two warriors. Come on. At 1 minute 17 into the contest, your winner by submission with a shoulder lock from Bergen, Norway, Tarik Hopstock.
So Tarik Hopstock takes this one. We're going to move on next into the 64 kilo catchweight division. Adam Adshead and Enrique Vilasenor is coming up shortly. Our next bout is back in the gi. 34-year-old from Manchester, Adam Adshead is taking on Enrique Vilasenor.
Polaris 11, brought to you by MyBookie and made for fighters, is now set for 10 minutes of a gi contest at 64 kilograms. Introducing first, a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu at 63.6 kilograms, fighting out of Factory BJJ from Stockport, presenting Adam Adshead.
Adam Adshead, well-known British black belt, returning for his second bout on Polaris. Fought back at Polaris 3, going to a draw with Phil Harris, back when we had draws. Currently 34 years old, been training jiu-jitsu about 15 years now. Very experienced competitor in this division.
And his opponent, also a Jiu-Jitsu black belt, he weighed in at 61.9 kilograms, representing Fight Sports, hailing from Mexico but fighting out of London, England, presenting Enrique La Furia Vilasenor.
Well, also training 15 years is black belt Enrique Vilasenor, originally from Mexico City, currently making his home in London at Fight Sports Academy, a little bit older than his opponent tonight. He also fought back at Polaris 10, taking a decision win over Trevor Birmingham. Thanks to MyBookie for sponsoring this one, mybookie.ag, to place your bets on our main card this evening. Black gi for Enrique Vilasenor, blue gi for Adam Adshead. Greg Creel's your man in the middle for this one.
Music's on point tonight, isn't it?
Good soundtrack for sure.
Ready?
Adam Adshead,
Ready?
very, very finely tuned in competition mode right now. Fought in Japan 2 weeks ago, taking gold. And then we get a shot of the corners.
Double guard pull there.
Looking to Berimbolo and invert around the outside is Adshead. Vilasenor doing his best to not get pulled into a close guard here either.
Yeah, Enrique having a little sniff at those feet as well. Nice right hand deep in the collar there, expecting to try and get that knee through guard pass with the right leg.
Shin on shin for Adshead now. But interestingly, he got the shin on shin and sort of abandoned the leg control he had. Oh no, sorry, still got the lapel through.
Make sure you use both grips, Adam.
And our second gi match, our second bit of lapel control. Vilasenor looking to attack the feet here. Adshead able to extend away. Goes to a double collar grip now.
As long as it doesn't end up in 50-50 guard, I'm happy.
So Adshead again trying to find a home for that left shin to come back inside. Enrique doing a good job of maintaining that distance and closing it down. He's got an underhook here on the the left leg using his right arm.
It's going to be very hard to pass Adam's guard if he's still got that lapel wrapped around the leg. Okay, release now.
He's abandoned it. And Vilasenor sitting down to avoid the inversion.
Into the closed guard.
Yeah, scrambling back on top. Closed guard for Adshead. And let's see if he goes to work here, if he opts to open and go back to a seated guard. Vilasenor trying to break here.
And getting that knee through the center, really nicely done by Enrique.
And he gets one word from his corner, which is leg. So I think we know where he might be going if he can break some of the collar grips of Adshead, who's really staying attached to him here with that lapel control.
Yeah, looking really nice with those grips.
And again, Vilasenor, that leg through the middle. It's good elevation from Adshead, but definitely keeping his balance.
Keep attacking, attack.
Increase the pace. Good. Underneath.
Oh, Adshead again gets the elevation, but not able to do anything with it.
Keep that hook, get the hips out.
Seated guard for Adshead in the blue here. We're going to work these butterflies. That's 3 times now, Dan. He's managed to get some form of elevation, but he's had no attack off it.
Yeah. Enrique looking for the foot, but really not enough. Adam's doing a good job of keeping those legs retracted close to his own body, not really exposing them too much. So there's really not much for Enrique to play with in terms of the legs there.
No, Adshed's got he's got a shin to shin here, but it's on the opposite side. Abandons, tries to find the near side foot.
That was a nice attempt, a little bit half-hearted, but a nice attempt of hitting a rolling Kimura. Really useful to help pass the guard there, but you've got to commit to it.
Yeah, Adshed's gone back to this lapel control. Again, he's got it fed all the way under through and glued to the outside of Vilasenor's right knee. He's got good elevation here into single leg X.
It's really hard to work out what Adam's trying to do. I really can't quite work it out. He doesn't really look like he's trying to sweep that much. We saw early on he was looking to roll underneath for a Berimbolo to take the back, but he's elevating. Is he trying to tie up the legs? I really can't get too much of a read on him, if I'm honest with you.
Well, he can't quite maintain that hip control because Vilasenor's gone right on the sole of the feet there and stripped that grip off. Looks to step around, and it's just that lapel control through against the knee that's saving Adshead, and gets in a beautiful sweep in the scramble. And for the first time in this match, as we almost hit the 5-minute mark, we've got a dangerous offensive position from Adam Adshead.
I think it might be the first time today we've had side control.
No rush from here, don't rush it, don't rush it.
Enrique doing a really good job of stopping Adam from being able to transition smoothly round to the back there.
Heavy with that right leg to clear the foot.
Yeah, certainly on the back foot now, having to fight those collar grips.
Just sprawl out.
Really smooth belt removal from our referee, Greg Krill there. Nicely done.
Adshead staying glued to the back here, or at least partially to the back. Very heavy chest pressure coming forward. Constantly trying to work his way behind Vilasenor, and he gets one hook in.
Almost got it in. He looked to trap the arm at the same time. Had that foot landed on the inside of the hips there, that would have been a really nice position to take the back and attack immediately off of it with a nice lettered arm. But now Enrique looking very relaxed and composed in quite a dangerous position. No real control, but Adam's very, very close to getting something sunk in there.
Yeah, and he's still got a lapel control by reaching all the way under the leg to the far side collar, and That's keeping Vilasenor very stacked up against his own knees.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's also stopping Adam from taking the
taking the back,
superior position on the back. Yeah, he's going to have to give that up. He's giving it up now. He's committing to looking for the back take, and
Yeah, rolls through.
Enrique doing a really great job of keeping his legs in the correct position so Adam can't get hooked. Manages to square up, go back to God. Really nicely done to stop Adam from being able to capitalize on a very nice position there.
Good defense from the Fight Sports black belt. We're about to hit the end of the second period here, and that one's very clearly going to go to Adam Adshead for the sweep to the back control.
Yeah, first round very close. I'm not sure who I'd give that to there. Really a feeling out process in that early 3 minutes 20. Second round very clearly goes to Adam.
Adshead's found this single leg X again. He's going to go toe hold on this foot here. He keeps strapping the top of the feet, and just simple sweep for him. Comes up, looks to turn it into the Toriando almost. Vilasenor doing a really good job of getting his legs away from Adshead.
I love that Adam takes a grip and keeps it for ages. He will try and do multiple things from one.
Okay, so
Oh, what's happened there?
Really, they want to reset in the middle, but don't think he wants to give up that plank.
Once his hands grab onto something, they do not want to let go of it.
So no, I don't think we should be stopping to retie belts here. We've got 2:20 left, which the clock needs to take a pause for a moment. And just keep crashing through.
Yeah, because in about 30 seconds...
time doesn't stop, guys.
Doesn't stop? Come on.
I'm going inside, outside, inside, single axe. Good. Yeah. Fight.
So we are reset with 2 minutes left on the clock here.
I think it's all to play for in this final round. Adam's really starting to come into his own. He was on his back compared to the first couple of minutes that he was in this position.
Oh, he's
looking
got
way more aggressive with the attacks.
Yeah, got an omoplata entry briefly there. Vilasenor's going to try and sit back on a straight footlock, but he's got to find some control with the hip and knee first.
It's the best entry he's got for a leg so far.
Yeah, belly down footlock. But
Adam doing a great job of getting the opposite side leg back on the inside.
Right,
establishing a guard position here.
Fought that inside position well. We're down into the final minute and 14 seconds here, and Vilasenor's going very low, very tight on the feet here. Adshead trying to sweep, certainly the more active of the two from an offensive perspective.
Yeah. Can you see how much more obvious it is what Adam's trying to go for? Now he's really starting to up the pace compared to that first half of the match. Beautiful. Double underhook sweep. I love this sweep from butterfly guard directly into the mount there.
And this is absolutely going to lock up this third period for him if he can maintain this for a few moments. Looking for...
he's sinking that hand into the collar.
Yeah, it's going to be a bread cutter straight across here.
Look for him to come off of mount here. There we go. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have a great position of his right hand on Vilasenor's neck. So,
well, turned it into a back take. Hasn't quite got hooks yet, but
we've seen Enrique very, very good at not allowing Adam to get the hooks in for that back take. So, if I was Adam, I probably would have looked to tie up something a little bit tighter from the mount position before transitioning off of it. But still in a very dominant position for Adam here. And I think this will secure him the second round and very likely the match.
Yeah, final closing seconds here in the fifth match of our undercard. There's the 10-second clacker as Adshead looks to secure the back position again. He knows time is going to run out, and it's probably going to be for naught though. But a good positional performance from Adam Adshead once he got going. A little bit slow in the start. And we're going to go to a judge's decision. Take a look at some of the replays here, and this was Adshead working for the back. Good floating around, trying to find those hooks, but it's good back defense from Vilasenor. Never really got much of his own offense going though. Looked for the feet several times, but never actually got a real control.
Beautiful sweep to mount there.
And this was the closing seconds. He looked actually for a sliding collar choke.
It looked very dramatic. It looked like he was going for something, but realistically,
really
there's absolutely
close.
nothing there.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Bit of selling it for the judges from Adam Adshead.
I like it. I like it.
Let's throw over to our MC, who's going to make this one official.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for both warriors this evening. Come on. This bout goes the distance. And we go to your judges for the decision, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Adam Adshead.
Adam Adshead is going to take this one on the scorecards. Fair decision all in all. In my book, he's going to get his first win in his second appearance, draw in his original match at Polaris. We're going to go to a very short commercial break, and we'll be up next with a really, really tantalizing gi match as Tommi Pulkkanen takes on Marcus Phelan. Our next bout this evening is a catch weight at 74 kilos in the gi. Mr. Spaghetti BJJ Tommi Pulkkanen from Finland is going to be taking on Irish standout Marcus Phelan.
Polaris 11 on UFC Fight Pass and Joe.co.uk. Brought to you by Scramble and Tatami Fightwear and Canavape. Now, we are set for a 10-minute no-gi contest. I beg your pardon. We're set for a 10-minute gi contest, a catch weight at 74 kilograms. We introduce first, weighed in at 73.7 kilograms, a jiu-jitsu black belt and a two-time Paris, London, and Copenhagen champion, representing Hilti BJJ from Lahti, Finland, presenting Tommi Spaghetti Pulkkanen.
Tommi Pulkkanen making his way to the mat for his third appearance on Polaris. He's had two really tough matches previously. Lost a decision to Bradley Hill at Polaris 5 and then went down to a heel hook to Ross Nichols at Polaris 6. No shame in either of those matches, but looking to make amends here tonight is the 26-year-old from Finland.
And his opponent, weighed in at 72.4 kilograms, a black belt in jiu-jitsu, fighting out of East Coast BJJ, presenting Marcus Phelan.
So black belt Marcus Phelan makes his way to the mat here, accompanied by Dara O'Connell, and of course the woman who will be in our main event tonight, defending 55 kilo ladies champion Fionn Davies. It's the second time we've seen Phelan here on Polaris. Fought back at Polaris 9 and beat Chris Newman by a judge's decision. Thank you to Canavape for sponsoring this bout here this evening. So Tommi Pulkkanen versus Marcus Phelan, both in white gis, but orange embroidery on the gi of Tommi Pulkkanen, and he's going to pull guard early here. It is a very active and strange guard.
Aggressive entries to that guard position straight away.
Well, I mean, obviously his nickname, Spaghetti BJJ, is down to his
Italian heritage?
Dexterity and flexibility.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
But really does have some very creative entanglements from those guard positions.
Shimmer's down.
And he's looking to work them here against Marcus Phelan. Simon Small, our referee, just making sure the grips are reset accurately in the center of the mat here. Phelan trying to separate himself from Pulkkanen, not able to do so though, and you see him try and reinforce that frame on the pants to break the grip. Constantly having to watch that right leg coming over the top. Collar and sleeve for Pulkkanen. Left foot on the hip. You see Phelan controlling that offside foot. Now going for an underhook grip. Pulkkanen looking to pummel those legs back inside. Work a bit of this spider guard game.
Yeah, Marcus keeping everything very nice and tucked in at the moment. Very aware of Tommy's game. Seeing an opportunity, swings the leg away, but Tommi managing to get that leg back in very, very nicely.
Yeah, and he's inverting underneath and through, immediately looking to threaten from the guard. Big leg staple from Phelan as he looks to turn this into a stack pass.
Phelan needs to be careful there in that position. He was quite low down. If Tommi could have pulled that arm off, he has a nice armbar triangle combination there, but Marcus doing a really good job of lifting up enough to get out of that danger there. Already just starting, you know, when you have someone who's as unorthodox as Tommi is, you can't get someone to replicate their game. You don't know how it's going to feel, so a lot of the first half of this match, if it does go that long, is going to be Marcus figuring out what it's like to be inside of the unorthodox guard and game of Tommi here.
Absolutely, we're going to see the fight IQ of Phelan on display as we are through 2 minutes and 20 seconds here in this bout. Two more coming your way after this. And then there will be a short break before our main card live at 8 o'clock on UFC Fight Pass.
Keep the action going, guys. Let's keep the action going.
Pulkkanen trying to work those legs back to inside position. Phelan. But again, Pulkkanen tries to re-establish those frames. And you can see he's so flexible, so comfortable being in these stacked positions. Oh, he's going to suck that other leg in. He might get a chance to come up on top here. Phelan keeping that right leg away, and that's stopping Pulkkanen from getting his weight all the way over the top, but he's also fed the far side of the gi here.
Yeah, Marcus looking to tie up the far side in a straight ankle up position. I'm not really sure what he's planning here.
I think it's more a defensive mechanism.
To stop Tommi from being able to move that leg, very possible. Yeah, really awkward position for Marcus Phelan to be in at this point.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Pulkkanen's going to do with that lapel he's fed all the way across.
Looking up at Coach Darragh O'Connell to get some advice from the corner there.
It certainly is a puzzle. So Pulkkanen has knocked his balance over here. And tough to see from our vantage point what he's working for. There's a shot of Ffion Davies, our defending Polaris champion, in the corner. Her belt is on the line tonight against Talita Alankar.
Yeah, that's going to be a good match. It's a rematch as well.
It is, from several years ago.
Talita beat her first time, but it was a surprisingly close match. Ffion dominated for the majority of that match and just got caught very quickly off the transition. So it'll be interesting to see how that rematch goes tonight. So that kind of awkward entanglement broken now.
Yeah, fleshed out to nothing in the end for Pulkkanen as he looks to go back to his guard game here. Still playing with the lapels though. And what it is doing is it's stopping Phelan implementing any sort of offensive guard passing right now as we're well into the second period of this bout.
Yeah, he really is tying him in knots at the moment. Okay, grabbing the feet here. Expect Phelan to release his right hand and look to grab onto a twisting footlock. Releases that, not really feeling it.
Yeah, he did motion that left hand was going to cover the toes.
He's obviously liking that right hand overhooking the far side leg and controlling the near side leg here. So he's got control of both legs with just one arm, but it also means that he can't release that grip if he wants to keep that control.
Yeah, setting up the toe hold again. You see that left hand go back to cover the toes just to give Pulkkanen something else to think about, but he just can't get his weight back up. Pulkkanen's got him sat down and controlled fairly decisively here. But I think the referee needs to look to perhaps separate them for a lack of action here.
Yeah, I think Marcus is really
action
aware
going, guys.
of the dexterity and danger that Tommy's legs pose. He's just really trying to isolate them and stop Tommi from being able to play his natural game, which is absolutely the correct thing that he should be doing.
Yeah, it's about as tactical as you can get. But you see, even then, Pulkkanen would not give up that lapel control all the way around the leg.
Yeah, and he had an easy option to take top position there and decided to sit down and pull guard again.
Yeah, tries to find his way through, rotating to shoot those legs up again. Phelan trying to jump off, and Darragh O'Connell in the corner is right. It is certainly some pressure from Phelan now.
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue that so far 2 rounds to Tommi, as Marcus just hasn't really been able to get off anything. He's been grappling against Tommi. Tommi hasn't been grappling against him.
Yeah, it's all at a certain point. It's all about the intention of who's trying to do what, and the intention has been from Tommi to assert himself into the positions. I think this is probably a little bit frustrating for Phelan here.
I think that's an understatement. If I was Marcus right now, I would be livid.
To be fair.
Yeah, this is why I don't do gi, because people do this to you and you go, if only you'd let go of my leg, or you look at this weird positions. He's wrapped that lapel underneath the leg, completely controlling the left leg of Marcus Phelan there.
I mean, you know, he's got some things he can do as he looks to scramble on top, and it's a good sweep for Pulkkanen. Is he going to use this top position, though? That's the question as we come through into the final 3 minutes of this one.
Well, Tommy's right leg is elevated,
extended.
so he's not going to. If Marcus didn't want Tommi to come to top position, he'd be able to stop him just by elevating that leg even more, as he's doing here.
Pulkkanen's going to try and come up on top again, this time a bit more successfully, but as you mentioned, Dan, that right leg is still very much tied up and isolated. It's going to be hard for him to get any meaningful base with just the left side of his body.
You can see that Marcus, all he has to do is lift up. You know, Tommy's attached his right leg to Marcus's left side of his body. All Marcus has to do is lift up that side, and it stops Tommi from being able to get to top position.
Yeah, this is a good straight foot look attempt for Phelan. And he's got that purchase on that right foot on the hip, helping him bridge.
Definitely the best attack that Marcus has had, probably the only real attack that Marcus has had so far. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be enough. I think he's going to have to get the submission if he has any chance of winning this bout.
Yeah, Pulkkanen looking to rotate underneath. Minute and a half left here.
Just stand him up.
Well, just checking the arrangements of the position. Let's see what our referee on the screen does here. Only one gi fight on our main card tonight, and it is an absolute cracker. Marcus Tinoco taking on Tommi Langaker. The third time those two will have met, and it's one submission apiece at the moment, so really looking forward to that bout. Third on our main card this evening. Final 50 seconds here.
Yeah. And this leg was here. Yeah.
In this undercard bout, though.
Fight.
Pulkkanen looking to wrap that leg up and invert again. Forces Phelan to roll, and this time he comes up on top. Phelan with a strong tank grip, though. He's going to set up a takedown off it. Traps in that single leg. Guard pull. Pulkkanen. Heavy punch as they stand the edge of the mat again. And the reset from standing here with 15 seconds left. Last chance for somebody to grab something. There we go, jumping triangle attempt from Pulkkanen, but Phelan's able to get well inside. Strong leg staple, good elevation though. And he's going to come up on a leg drag. Well, no action as we see the final few seconds out, but a lot of tactical grip play throughout that bout, Dan.
Yeah, a really, really frustrating match for Marcus Phelan. As soon as he could really get any dynamic movement, looked a lot more comfortable. But Tommi just doing a great job of tying him up and forcing him to play his game pretty much the entire bout.
Let's take a look at the replays here, Dan, and we're going to see again that grip from Pulkkanen.
Well, great guard retention as well. There was a few times. Marcus is a very good guard passer. Tommi just doing a great job of throwing that leg over and getting Marcus back inside of his game.
Yeah, Phelan had this straight footlock attempt, but didn't really pay off for him. And the judges, you know, a bit of a tough one perhaps for them. We suspect it may be going the way of Pulkkanen, but
yeah, I'm pretty confident in that.
We're going to find out in a few seconds. It was a fantastic closing period to this match. I think both athletes realizing they were low on time.
Yeah, definitely would have been fun to see a few more minutes of that. And you know what? I'd really love to see that match no gi as well, without Tommi being able to tie him up.
So
I'm sure it would have been very different.
Could just see one of our referees, or our judges, Mark Goddard, just conferring with our MC to render this decision. And we're going to find out who's won this one, and I'm going to grab a few words with the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for both warriors this evening. Come on! This bout goes the distance, and we go to your judges, declaring your winner by split decision, Marcus Phelan.
I'm here with our winner, Marcus Phelan. Marcus, give us your thoughts on that bout. A little frustrating for you, perhaps, in some of those entanglements?
Yeah, the plan was to honestly blitz him with the pace and side-to-side combination stack. Just took me a while to get into it because his guard is really good. He's really smart with his gripping and lapel, so it's hard to move. And I can't take that big of a risk, you know, it's not worth it. So I tried to find my opportunities and make it go, but unfortunately I couldn't do what I really wanted to.
Feel good to get a win here on Polaris?
Yeah, really happy to get a win. That's my second win now. So really nice, felt much more comfortable out here today. So yeah, let's keep it going. And next time I'm working even harder to bring some fireworks, yeah.
I've got one more question for you before I let you go celebrate. You, of course, have a teammate and corner lady who's up in our main event tonight. Fionn Davies taking on Talita Alencar. Prediction from you for that one?
Oh, Fionn by submission for sure, but that's going to be an epic fight. Don't leave early, guys. That is going to be an amazing fight. You want to see high-paced action? Like, let's go. Watch that later, guys.
I look forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for your winner, Marcus Phelan. Next up, penultimate bout on our undercard, an all-British clash. Lloyd Cooper is taking on Matty Holmes, and this should be an excellent bout.
Polaris Professional Jiu-Jitsu, brought to you by Barefoot, Canavape, and Made for Fighters. Now set for a 10-minute no-gi contest at 85 kilograms. We introduce first, at 81.5 kilograms, a Jiu-Jitsu black belt and an IBJJF European champion, representing Ghoul BJJ from Ghoul, presenting Lloyd, the Yorkshire Rip Gripper Cooper.
Lloyd Cooper returning to Polaris for his third bout. Took on Kieran Davern at Polaris 7, of course had that fun war of words with AJ Agazarm back at Polaris 5. Black belt training 10 years. Really favouring the leg locks is this young man. I say young, 31 now.
Yeah, big star up north here as well.
And now his opponent at 83.3 kilograms, a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Next Generation, presenting Matty Holmes.
Searching every corner of my mind, looking for the answers I'm gonna find.
Matty Holmes making his walk down to the mat here. Steel worker from Ellesmere Port, been training 10 years, currently a brown belt at Next Generation in Liverpool. Prefers grappling, but does also have a 2-0 MMA record. He's fought once before on Polaris. Took a decision win on that occasion. Just like his opponent tonight, he very much enjoys the leg locks as well, so expect a bit of footsie in this one.
A little bit of attitude going on here.
Yeah, I mean,
I like it. He is pumped up for this. I was speaking to him beforehand. He is super excited. He's taking on one of the biggest stars of Northern England Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He is super excited for this.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive finisher, so this should be very fun. Thanks to MyBookie for sponsoring this one. Get your bets in on our main card tonight, mybookie.ag. White and black shorts for Lloyd Cooper, black shorts for Matty Holmes. Your referee for this one is Greg Creel.
I'm loving the energy. It's intense.
Josh Palmer, Dan Strauss bringing you the action from the Bridgewater Hall in Manchester this evening. And we are underway here. Quick shot of the corners there for you. Paul Rimmer on the right in the corner of Matty Holmes. Adam Adshead in the corner of Lloyd Cooper. And it's Cooper with the seated guard here.
Yeah, the interesting question here, they both favour the leg locks, but Lloyd really is all about the legs. What's going to be interesting is Matty going to try and play Lloyd at his own game, or is he going to try and mix it up a little bit with the upper body as well? So far, it looks like I think Matty wants to make a statement by leg locking the Yorkshire gripper.
Matt Holmes has a fantastic leg lock game. He's been playing it a lot. I trained at his gym last year and felt a bit of it myself. When we had an MMA card up there, so I know he's very much been looking forward to getting back on Polaris, but Lloyd Cooper really known for finding the feet from this bottom position. Through the first minute now, and Holmes having to be very tactical about how he enters this guard.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about Lloyd's game as well is that where you see with most leg lockers, they really prefer to go for the inside and outside heel hooks, but Lloyd will go for straight ankle locks, which is something you don't see that much at high-level competition.
Yeah, looking to threaten the elbows and the drags to set some of these up. But he's playing off that right hip at the moment. Interesting grip through on the tricep with that left hand. Looking to get up on his shoulder and across. Coming to the end of the first 2 minutes here. You see Holmes, as I say, having to be very careful about how he pushes forward here. He's going heavy on this one, though, with that left leg staple.
Yeah, he wants those legs. You can see he's driving in with the hips, and he's ready to sit backwards as soon as he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, Cooper off balances him, but snatching the ankle is Holmes. Trying to pull himself forward into, get a better control above that knee line. Really pinch those knees around the hip. Goes to the outside heel hook here. And Cooper's trying to free that knee line, does a good job, looks to repummel himself. That was a good bite from Matt Holmes, really forceful defense from Cooper. And he's going in on an entanglement himself here, looks to come up on top. Cooper trying to leg weave his way in.
And they're straight to us.
Not driving into our commentary position. And I think we're going to see Cooper sit straight back down again. There we go.
So far, so good for Matty Holmes. You know, 2 entries on the leg locks. That last one looking really nice, to be honest with you. I've got to give him the first round so far.
Yeah, 7 minutes left. So through the first 3-minute period, the judges have got to take note of. And again, Cooper looking to drag that arm across. Now snaps down to threaten the guillotine. Imanari roll, but well on the outside.
Matty's starting to look a lot more fatigued. Slightly higher output from that top position so far. It'll be interesting to see if that plays in as this match goes deeper and deeper into it. You know, as we get into the end of the second, even the third round, is Lloyd gonna take advantage of a slightly more tired Matt Holmes?
Time.
Yeah, Lloyd
Takes the knock to the face, says some rude words, let's go.
Lloyd Cooper certainly looking the fresher of the two here.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that Lloyd, you can see the nasal strip on Lloyd's nose. I believe that's just to open up his airways so he can take more oxygen in from the nose. I think he wears it. I think he might wear it in almost all the super fights that he has.
You know, it's funny, I asked him in the run-up to this, I was like, oh, you know, why did you get started or interested in grappling? He said, oh, you know, I was lifting a lot of weights, and then I tried jiu-jitsu and got submitted by a 14-year-old.
Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah, so that's how Lloyd Cooper got into this, and here we are 10 years later.
He went back and he broke that 14-year-old's feet.
I certainly hope not, but
hey, he probably was
never know
older by then.
So again, looking to find his way through, and that's a heavy drive through on the kneecap from Matt Holmes. Not able to get upper body control to make it pay, though. And again, he's wrapped up that ankle. Cooper's got to be careful playing this knee shield game. Looking to pull into close guard here.
This is interesting. Close guard, for someone who likes the leg locks, close guard is not the best position to tie him up from. And it actually gives the person in the top position much easier entries if he wanted to attack the leg. So I don't think I've seen Lloyd Cooper play a close guard for a very long time.
Well, we're going to see it now as Holmes looks to control these wrists. Nice cheeky wrist lock from the guard for Cooper. That's going to give Holmes some pause as to where he has to put his hands here. And well, sits straight back on the leg as soon as they're open. Cooper backstepping all the way around to free. Looking the leg weave now as he does on the neck. Oh, and Holmes is on a straight ankle here on the outside. And the knee line's clear, and he knows he has to get his own feet out of the way quickly.
Real respect for the power of Lloyd Cooper's footlocks. You know, even though he was in a stronger position there, as soon as Lloyd went to grab onto that foot, he released it straight away and disengaged.
So Cooper pulls guard again. 4 minutes left on the clock here. Looking to use that false grip behind the leg to come through. Nice bit of leg weaving. But it's inside control for Holmes here.
Yeah, Lloyd looks like he's starting to change up his game a little bit. He's looking to try, instead of sit back and just attack the legs, he's looking to get on top, pass the guard, maybe take some sort of top dominant control.
Yeah, he's definitely upping the output as well.
Yeah, which is great to see. It's great to see someone, if the leg locks aren't working, then to switch to a different style of game. Nice back step.
Yeah, clears it, looks to sit down. Knee line is just about
very
trapped.
close.
Cleared quickly though. Oh, idiot sweep from Matt Holmes, and he uses it to go straight into an outside heel hook of his own. Got a little bit of heel exposure, going to defend the toe hold though. Oh, and I think, he's saying no.
Okay, stop.
And he didn't consciously find the edge of the mat, they just happened to be there.
These guys are putting on.
Yeah, you know what? That was a good sequence from Lloyd Cooper right at the end of that second period. Just when you see this clock hit 3:20, that was the end of...
Matty, obviously the more fatigued athlete of the two right now. Lloyd should be taking advantage of this. He should see how tired Matt's looking.
He's got to up the work rate again, keep going.
Absolutely should.
He just seems to be getting a bit deeper on each of these as we move forward.
You also see Lloyd's attempts on going for other styles, looking to pass the guard, looking to attack the upper body.
Oh, he's got a good
open
arm
up.
here.
There we go.
You see him bridge in with the hips.
He's talking to him.
I don't know what he's saying,
oh my
but
God. Matty Holmes is a crazy man, and I love him for it.
Yeah, again, Cooper going, that's a nice sweep. Arm drag into the head under the chin to break the posture. And that's a big hip switch pass in midair. And Matty Holmes has got to be careful here because Lloyd Cooper is marching his way into mount now. Sweep to pass to mount in a matter of seconds.
The question now is, who won the second round? First round, it was quite obviously Matty Holmes. You know, if it continues how it's going now, then the final round is definitely looking like it's going towards Lloyd Cooper, as he seems the fresher of the two. Who has that second round?
Yeah, Paul Rimmer, in the coach of Matty Holmes, is urging him to not get comfortable here. And to tell him he's got to keep working. Can't quite hit what the corner of Lloyd Cooper is saying, but...
I'd be telling Lloyd that he's got to go for the sub at this point.
North-south choke here. They're going to connect his hands and walk himself back, goes back to mount. And you see that's fatigue from Matt Holmes, not even able to get his knee back in to stop the remount.
Matty is knackered at this point. No entries for the legs, even though there's lots of opportunity to do so. Lloyd looking like he's going to get another guard pass here.
Yeah, just
he
leg
should be keeping
round.
the pressure on, though. Keep the pressure on there.
Yeah, he's got a minute 26 left, and
here's an entry, and it doesn't look bad at all. Switching to a knee bar here.
Yeah, he's actually quite deep. Switches it over, going for...
With the passion that's gone into this match, I don't see anyone tap into a submission early.
No,
You're going to have to
not at all.
really hurt each other
So
in
Holmes
order
has
to get
got
the tap.
both legs locked up here. And he's trying to hide his own feet with the triangle.
Lloyd about to switch to a twisting footlock.
Yeah, he's going to go toe hold here. Well, he hides it again.
And looking for a heel here.
Yeah, good heel exposure for Lloyd Cooper.
Oh, he's got the tap! What a match!
Lloyd Cooper gets the heel hook submission, and he is very happy about it.
What a match.
Nice transition from him.
Matty just looked great for the first
The fish faded.
3-4 minutes, and he just
faded.
got tired. That high output on the legs, he just wasn't ready for the full match.
So
Great.
Lloyd Cooper is going to win the battle of the legs against Matty Holmes. We're going to have some replays for you in just a second. But a good work rate for him. Really seemed to get better as the match came on.
You could tell Matt was just getting very, very tired,
Yeah.
and eventually Lloyd just was able to take advantage of
And
it.
here's the finish. He went for that toe hold, and there. Well,
This was the earlier one.
Ah, yeah, this was earlier. Some good pummeling, and this was where the different attacks from Lloyd Cooper started to pay dividends. And this, I think, was the finishing sequence. Holmes went for an entanglement of himself.
Looked
Lloyd
good as well.
Yeah, Lloyd
Looked good.
Cooper re-gripped, and it was when he got that last bite of heel exposure here. It was so tight. And it's an inside heel, inside heel hook from there. And the bridge in sealed it. Good win for Lloyd Cooper. Let's throw it to our MC, Bidet Johnson. He's going to make this one official.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for both warriors this evening. Come on! With 40 seconds left into the contest, the referee called the stoppage due to a submission with a heel hook, and your winner, Lloyd, the Yorkshire Gripper Cooper.
I'm here with our winner, Lloyd Cooper. Lloyd, give us your thoughts on that bout, because a few words going on there. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but it looked interesting.
Matty Holmes was crazy, what can I say? Break it, lad, break it! Matty's a mega tough guy, new coming in. You're going to have to really, really try to put him away. Game plan was to start slow and build the pace towards the end. Thankfully it paid off. I got him to get a little bit gassed and finally got on the heels, but he's a mega tough guy.
You just took my second question away from me, because I was going to ask you about the pace there. It really did look like you changed your game plan up a bit. You went for more varied entries and really started to get better as that match went on.
Yeah, like I know my style's pretty in the short end of the match. Looks pretty slow, but it's just I'm soaking up some of that pressure, getting them tired. Then when I flip the switch, it puts the pace on them.
This is, I think, your third performance here on Polaris, and you got a fantastic submission win. Now, what's it like to have the support from the crowd and get to keep coming back on this show?
Yorkshire, 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 Yorkshire. Great, best ever, best ever.
We look forward to having you back again. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for your winner, Lloyd Cooper. So it is time for the final bout of our undercard here this evening, and it is the prize for the two men who won our Polaris qualifying event. Jedhu, 22 years old from RGA Gymbox, taking on 33-year-old from Wave BJJ, Nastasa Silviu, Georgian.
Polaris 11 right here at the Bridgewater Hall in Manchester, England. It's now time for our final contest of the prelims, brought to you by Canovape, MyBookie, Barefoot, and Salachi LLP. We are now set for a 10-minute absolute no-gi contest. We introduce first weighed in at 80 kilograms even, a purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu, representing RGA Gym Box 22 from London, England, presenting Silviu.
So 22-year-old Silviu, currently a purple belt, been training for about 4 years, but to give you an idea of how good he is, he recently did a competition in sub-3 black belts in that event, and that might explain why he won the qualifying tournament in May to get a spot tonight. Does compete a lot, so I expect him to be in tip-top form here this evening. He is, however, as you'll see in a few short moments, going to be giving up a bit of size in this one.
And his opponent, at 91.7 kilograms, a Jiu-Jitsu brown belt from Romania, but fighting out of London, England, presenting Nastasa, Silviu, Georgian.
Nastasa Silviu Georgian is 33 years old, training at Wave BJJ as a brown belt who's been training for a little over 5 years now. Does have a very extensive freestyle wrestling background. Hasn't actually competed since the trials that he won, but he weighed in, and I just point out this is an absolute bout, so it's an open weight bout, and he weighed in at 91.7 kilos to 80 on the dot for Silviu, so 11.7 kilos is the weight advantage for Georgian coming into this one.
Yeah, I trained with Silviu for many years. He is an absolute beast.
Thanks to Cannovate for sponsoring this bout. Red and black rash guard for Silviu. Black with the yellow trim for Nastasa Silviu Georgian. Our referee Simon Small is going to get this one underway. Last bout on the undercard here.
Ready? Ready? Fight!
Touch of hands, and Hugh looking to sit to guard straight away here.
Yeah, this is a really interesting clash of styles. Jed is primarily a leg locker, a prodigy under Ross Nichols, has a very similar game to him. Very, very accomplished, very, very aggressive. When he gets onto one of those legs, he really goes for it. Against Silviu, who comes from a wrestling background, been wrestling since he was 4 years old, unbelievably strong, feels like he's made of iron. He's going to be looking to take that upper body control. He really wants to get a head and arm, variations on the head and arm chokes. If he manages to wrap his arms around your head, he's going to pull it clean off. So that's the interesting clash that we're going to see here.
Hugh having to work from a bad position here, does a good job of finding a triangle entry from into the armbar, and this could be a quick submission for Silviu. He's got some extension there as he looks to crank on this one, and Silviu able to muscle his way out. Hugh looks to re-pummel into the legs. As you mentioned, Dan, training under Ross Nichols, a Polaris veteran, of course.
It looks like Silviu hurt his rib there. He grabbed onto his rib. He's holding onto it now. That doesn't look good for him. Yeah, no, it's bad.
Oh, if I was you, I would
I think this
attack
might
here.
be over. I think this might be over.
Outside.
This guy does not. He does not make a big deal out of nothing. If he's grabbing onto his ribs, there's a serious problem here.
Yeah, could have just popped something out when defending that
there's
armbar.
There's a very, very good chance that that's happened. I've never seen Silviu react like this.
Yeah, our mat side medic's just going to check him over here, and if he has popped a rib, then unfortunately there's nothing we can really do about that.
Yeah, this match is going to be done. He's going to want to continue, but this is going to be game over. There's no way he's going to be able to roll. If he's struggling to walk around like this, then unfortunately it's not looking good. And
yeah, it's going to end up being a verbal submission due to injury, I would imagine.
I feel
at
that
this point.
this is a horrible outcome. These guys have fought their way onto Polaris. They both won the qualifiers, and for them to go out after less than a minute of action because of an injury is really, really unfortunate.
Yeah, so nobody likes to see any injuries occur on these shows. Of course, we do have highly qualified medical staff, mat side, and I think this
is going to be game over.
No, I think at this point we need to call this one, and they're shaking it. So I think he's popped a rib, and the bout's going to get waved off. Unfortunate for Nastasa Silviu Georgian. We'll try and get some clarification for you a little later on on what that injury is and how it may have happened. We might have a replay for you of that armbar shortly as Silviu walks over to, well, try and hug his opponent, but give him some congratulations. So an unfortunate end to this one. Crowd are going to give a round of applause for Nastasa as he's escorted off. We're going to have a replay coming in just a few moments, and it really was a beautiful triangle entry from Silviu. Yeah, we're getting a confirmation from the doctor that he popped a rib in defending that submission attempt.
Man, what a shame.
Let's take a look at the replay here, and the inversion to escape this position and then shoot straight up for a triangle, which he then transitioned into an armbar from Silviu, was excellent. And he really did have it deep here. And you can see getting lifted fully off the ground, full extension. And Giorgio gutting it out, but I think just tensing the core in the way he did it may have just knocked something out of place.
Yeah, it's a very awkward position. I've never seen Silviu pretty much get injured full stop. To see that happen, as soon as he stood up, he grabbed onto his rib, I knew something was wrong there.
Yeah, we're gonna make this one official in just a few seconds. I'm gonna grab a quick word with Jed and just see. I'm sure he's gonna be disappointed, but you know, maybe we can run this one back another time.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute 25 seconds into the contest, our referee called a stoppage to this bout due to your fighter, Nastasa, unable to continue with a suspected broken rib. Declaring your winner by verbal submission, Silviu.
Jed, just a quick word. What are your thoughts on that? It's obviously unfortunate when an injury it does occur, but any thoughts from you on the bout?
Honestly, I'm really upset because he's a good friend of mine as well, so this isn't how I wanted to win. Also, now that he's injured, that's a training partner loss for me. But a win's a win, I suppose, but just unfortunate that happened.
You found a really nice triangle armbar entry, recovering from that turtle position. Were there any concerns for you coming into this bout? You gave up nearly 12 kilos against Silviu. Was that on your mind at all coming into this one?
Not at all really, because I train with guys a lot bigger than me. I compete against guys normally a lot bigger than me, so honestly, I'm used to it. Not a problem for me.
If he gets healed up, would you want to run this one back again?
Honestly, not really, because we train together, but if we're paid to do it, why not?
Well, hopefully we can have you back on a future Polaris. Thank you for an excellent performance. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Silviu.